everyone, I'm Elizabeth Morgan. Welcome to Expressions in Dance. Today we have a very special episode. We have not one, but two special guests on the program today. My first guest is Mr. Mark Regan. He was voted in 2022 London's top nutritionist and weight loss expert. And today we're going to get started with the show by talking a little bit about how does nutrition play a role in learning to dance. Mark, enlighten us.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. So everybody, I'm sure you love joining in her classes. You're doing all your dance moves, you're getting your heart rate up, you're moving more, and you're following her fitness tips. But there's some key things you need to remember about eating and nutrition. So I'll give you three tips. The first tip is don't skip any of your meals. Continue to eat through the day. Stop going long periods of time without eating, because if you join the class and you have low blood sugar and you haven't fueled and nourished your body, you're gonna struggle through the class and you're gonna wonder why dancing isn't getting easier and your fitness isn't improving. That means step number two, make sure you're eating about 1 hour to 90 minutes prior to joining in the workouts and the dance routines, because then your blood sugar is stable, you'll fuel and nourish your body, it'll give you energy, and you're allowed to excel physically and mentally through the program. And last but not least, when you eat food, make sure your food is real food. If your food you're eating has labels with long ingredients lists, that's not food, that's highly processed food-like products, it's junk. So start eating things that don't have labels, that don't have nutrition facts tables, and don't have marketing slogans on them. Eat food that grows out of the ground, grows on trees, or it comes from animals that eat those foods too.
Thank you so much, Mark. That is great advice. I hope for our viewers out there that helps give you a little bit of extra knowledge as you are beginning to learn your dance journey and grow your dance journey throughout the seasons of this program. Now, let's get dancing. Now that we have learned all about proper nutrition and preparing to nourish our bodies in order to learn how to dance, let's get started with our warm-ups. As always, I want you to think about breathing through your stretches and really going easy on your body initially. When you are finished working out, it's also helpful to stretch everything out afterwards. So we will do it nice and easy to begin our class today. Reaching up to the ceiling as far as you can go. And bring your arms down. We will be using a little bit of arms today, so if you can think about employing those arm muscles, some of your shoulder muscles here. You can do some shoulder isolations. We are also going to be using our hips today. Latin is famous for the hip movement, so I'd like you to think about how you're going to loosen up those hips. I'll give you a couple of exercises in a moment for that. And of course, we have our core work today as well. So we're going to be reviewing some of our core exercises today to get the middle part of our body nice and strong. Reaching down towards the floor. See if you can touch the floor, and if not, it's okay to just swing back and forth. And I'd like you to take one hip, push it towards the side. See if you can keep your hands toward the ground or on your ankles. And then reverse it and do an isolation of the hip on the other side. Let's try that one more time. And to the other side. Excellent. Roll up slowly through each vertebrae. And arms are out to the side, nice and tall. I want you to think of making your neck and your spine nice and long and tall. And we'll twist side to side. Everybody. All right, now we know the legs are super important. We're going to be doing a lot of movements where we need to employ our hips. At the same time, your body is staying over your legs. So in Latin dance, it's almost like the body is moving the movement, as opposed to other forms of dance where you may kick a leg and follow it, for example. So we want to think about keeping the body weight over top of the legs as they're moving. Let's do a couple of ankle exercises to really warm those ankles up. And again, if you're not dancing outdoors, you'll be on a flatter surface. It will be easier to keep your balance and to move. We here are in nature today, so we are outdoors. And the ground's a little uneven, which is why I've got this mat down here. All right, let's take a lunge. So we're going to take one leg in front and one leg behind. Again, what you want to do with this exercise is try to drop your hips while holding your back up nice and straight. See if you can reach up to the ceiling. Another variation on this one is to stretch to the side, really open up the chest, and you'll feel it also in your lower back. Bring it forward. See if you can take your back leg and reach for that back toe. This is a tricky one, more of an advanced stretch. And coming all the way up, legs are nice and straight. And of course, let's switch sides so we're working on one side at a time, strengthening both sides of our legs and our body. So core is up tall, back is nice and straight. We're dipping our hips down, arms are up. And let's try that variation, so opening the chest up. And then again, give yourself that extra challenge. See if you can grab that back toe and pull it forward. From there, we go to both legs straight. Reach down as far as you can. I'm going right to the floor, but maybe this is comfortable for you, and that's totally okay. All right, relaxing down onto the floor now. Let's just do some flex and points with our toes, keeping your back as straight as possible. See if you can do one foot at a time. Some of the steps that we'll be doing today, we are leading by pushing the weight onto one leg and then switching the weight to the other leg. So let's get that feeling in our minds right now of how those feet are going to work. And moving from there, ankle circles. Very important to make sure our ankles are loosened up. See if you can shake it out. Almost like jello in your ankles. And shake it out. Excellent. One leg out to the side. Keep your body up as tall as you can, like there's a string coming through your back, and we're reaching for that side toe. See if you can get it. Great, and turn towards that leg. So we're reaching our chest down. And let's switch sides, exercising the other side. Coming up next is our back stretch and also our core stretch. A little secret about Latin dance. We can do it side by side, we can do it by ourselves, we can do it in a group, but also we can do it in partners. So there are different ways that you carry your body depending on how you're going to be performing your Latin dance or practicing your Latin dance. So we'll talk a little bit more about that today. But there's a thing called frame. Most dance teachers will tell you this. Frame is very, very important. Holding your space as a dancer and keeping your body in that space in the right kind of geometric shape is very, very important. So we will get into frame a little bit today and how that incorporates into partner work as well. Let's take a child's pose back. And one more time for our back stretch. And then we'll try some of our core exercises today. Child's pose back. Quick downward dog. Stretch the backs of those calves out. You can even go 1 foot at a time to get that extra stretch in. And then I'd like you to come down and get ready for core. You can do this exercise on your elbows or on your straight hands. We're going to start off with the body saw, which we learned in the last episode. For this exercise, we're pushing up, keeping our body as straight as we can, and we're just rocking back and forth through our toes. So you'll feel this in your calves, you'll feel it in your core. And again, you should keep your body and your shoulders over your hands, so they're not far in front of you, they're right underneath you. Excellent. Let's do now a 4 points. So we're going to release a point of contact. I want you to try and hold your body there. Hopefully my body is straight here. We're trying to keep that body like a plank, but at the same time, release 1 point of support and see if you can hold your core in place. Last one. Good, and let's slowly release it down. So give yourself a challenge. A little bit of a reverse push up there. Sitting on our backs now. We're almost done warming up. Let's work on stretching our legs. So for this one, it's called the scissors. We're going to have our hands down. You can have them in a T or down at your sides. I'm going to choose the T today. Straighten your legs as much as possible, but if that's challenging, you can do this bent leg. And we're just lowering one leg at a time and bringing it back up. Make sure that your spine is straight. You're pushing your belly button toward the floor. And I'll exercise demonstrating the straight leg version now. Excellent. Hold those legs up. Don't let them go. Here's where we're actually going to push your core. If you haven't done a lot of core exercises, I want you to think really strongly about pushing that back flat into the floor. And we're trying our pendulum now. So legs don't have to go super far, but they are coming down side to side, and you're trying to keep them at a right angle, perpendicular to the ground. Let's just try 2 more. So you can start with, let's say, 3 reps of 6, for example. And then after that, see if you can challenge yourself and hold those legs right there off the ground. And release. All right, breathe in and let's relax over top of our legs. A quick butterfly stretch to open up the inner thigh, and then we're almost done our warm-up. All right, standing up, shake everything out. Just little hip circles to each side. So I want you to think about, how are these hips going to work during the Latin steps? Other side. Excellent. Let's get hydrated, and then we will start to learn some of our Latin dance technique today. Welcome back. I hope everyone had some hydrating time. I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine. This is Matt Scott. He is passionate about Latin dance, and we wanted to make sure that we could come on to the episode today and be able to show you the difference between the leader and the follower's parts when you are working with a couple style of dance. Matt, did you want to say anything at all about where you have developed this passion for Latin dance and what you're currently doing?
Yeah, I started about 3 months ago. Been studying at the Latin Passion Dance Academy, and I just have fun with it. There's no such thing as perfection, and it's just muscle memory, and yeah, let's have some fun.
Great. Let's start with the salsa, a basic step that we have reviewed in past seasons, but we're going to review the counts for this step and the basic steps again today. Now, Matt is going to be performing the leader's part. I will be performing the follower's part. So the footwork is different, but you'll see us exactly in a mirror fashion. I want to remind you again that you are at home on a camera, so you may be using the opposite leg to what you see us doing here, and that's perfectly okay. Let's try to work on both legs so they're both as strong as well. So for the salsa, we want to count 1, 2, 3, then there's a pause, and then we count 5, 6, 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Let's go over the basic steps. You're really going to step out of place, back into place, and it's like a ball change. Matt, did you want to show them what the leader's part looks like for the step?
So the leaders, you step forward, you rock back on your right foot, and that's 1, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Backwards is 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're 4 and 8, you don't move at all.
So for the follower's part, we start going backwards first. So we're going back, 1, 2, 3, hold 5, 6, 7. So that fourth count is always a hold. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And notice that we're using our arms in a very relaxed manner. This is not ballet class. We don't have to hold our port-de-bras steady. We can actually allow our bodies to feel the music and to move accordingly. Let's try it now, facing one another. So in hold, and I think there are different kinds of holds, right?
Yeah, there's different. So usually it's good like this, so you can, because as you learn more of the dance, you're going, so I'm pushing her 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So I'm pushing and guiding the follow as we go through the dance into other moves, but for now we're just doing the basics. Or you can kind of hold like this, and you know, you can figure it out, but professionally I've been taught it's easier to guide the follower when I have hands like this, and your thumb into her palms, because she should be able to feel it.
This becomes important when you want to start turning, right?
Absolutely. And then you want to throw in a turn?
Sure, let's try.
All right. And then 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
I'm going to try to take your lead.
5, 6, 7.
So he's showing me, by the way that he's pulling his hands, how I need to go and when I need to move and when I need to change direction, right?
Yep. Because you want to guide her. Kind of just feel you're moving which way you want to go.
Good. Let's try it one more time for the viewers. Viewers, try it at home. If you don't have a partner, you might even want to grab like a broom handle or something like that.
Absolutely.
So you're practicing holding your frame, that frame that we talked about in the warm-up, and keeping your body up tall.
Yeah.
Ready?
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
All right. Thank you, friends. I hope you can practice that. Those are the basics of the salsa. Now we're going to get into...
The cha-cha.
Matt, would you kindly explain to us, how does the basic step work in this kind of dance?
Absolutely, I love the cha-cha. So the steps are, we're starting backwards as a lead. So it's 1 step back, forward, and you cha-cha-cha. Left, forward, back, cha-cha-cha. Right back, forward, cha-cha-cha. Left, forward, back, cha-cha-cha. And it's just muscle memory. You may not get it right the first time, but keep practicing. I promise you, that muscle memory will kick in. 2, cha-cha-cha, and back. And then, so this is what it looks like in a partner position. So we start 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, 3, 4, cha-cha-cha, 5, 6, cha-cha-cha, 8, cha-cha-cha, and it's about just taking small steps. And because if you go too big, your turns will be harder. And when you're in a dance floor, it gets a little bit harder because you're taking up a lot of space.
I think too, the faster that the tempo gets, the smaller we have to make our steps, right?
Absolutely.
So if we're dancing to a faster cha-cha than what we have right now, we might have to keep everything really small.
Absolutely.
And if you are doing this kind of dance, often it's a crowded dance floor, right?
It is.
So you want to make sure you can accurately execute your steps, but without bumping into everybody else that's on the dance floor.
Yeah.
So those are the basics of cha-cha. All right, friends, it is time for us to learn the bachata. This is a new Latin dance form that we haven't explored before on the show. And today we're going to talk about the physics of it, but also the geometry of the steps. So where do we go in space when we're performing the bachata? Also, how does it work in a partner situation? I'm going to defer to Matt here because he loves this dance form. He's going to show us the basics of the footwork first, and then we'll get into space and geometry.
So it's similar to the salsa, but we're gonna add a tap. So it goes forward, together, forward, tap, back, together, back, tap. Forward, together, front, tap, back, together. We're gonna throw in the side to side. So one thing to know is your tap foot is the direction you're gonna go. So if we tap left, with your left foot, we're gonna go to the left, 2, 3, tap, tap to the right foot, go back to the right. And we can just go back and forth. And so now we have those basic steps down. We can do it in a box. 2, 3, tap and forward. 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3,
There we go.
tap, back.
2,
3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap, and sideways. And back. And to the right. And diagonal. And back. Tap. So you can use, it's just think of a box with an X. And you can go in any direction, and your tap foot just determines which direction you're gonna go in.
I think it's very interesting too to think about the way that the hips are used during this step. So we did some hip warm-ups in the beginning of the show. When you're doing these steps, if you want to just work on how to move those hips, just remember that they have to be under your body. Your legs have to be under your body for this form of dance. And you could just practice step taps like that. Practicing
Absolutely.
loosening up the hips and free-form arms. If you're doing this all by yourself in your living room or your kitchen while you're making dinner, then this is something that you can practice.
And that's where the smaller steps come in too. And it kind of helps with your hip movement as well. Because if you're doing large steps, your hips are gonna lock versus
Tiny.
tiny
Yeah.
steps is just gonna get them moving. And then I guess we can show them the turns.
Sure.
The turns, we'll show you in a partner in a little bit. But so with a turn, go tap, 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. When you're turning, you're kind of prepping your left foot. So when you tap, you want to go instantly to a 45. 1, 2, 3, tap, and just spin You want to be on your heels and small steps because it's going to help you turn quicker and more stable, because if you're on your tippy toes or you go too far, you're going to be too far away from your partner and you're going to be unstable, and that's when you can cause injury.
This is interesting too for my viewers who have watched many of the episodes. We have done a lot of work where we're on the balls of our feet. For a lot of the dance genres, you're dancing on the balls of your feet. En relevé is what it's called. And for a chaîné turn, for example, we're always up, we're always straight, and we're very rigid as we turn. This is a different kind of feeling. So I want you to feel like you're getting down into the floor. You're almost melting your legs at the same time and using your hips together. All right, shall we show them some of this in a hold, and we'll see if we can do a couple of turns for the audience.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. 2, 3, tap. And since I'm taller than her, I don't want to hurt my partner. So when I turn, if I'm tall, I can just let her graze her hand on my shoulder as I turn, or I can hold her hand like that. Just depends on how tall you are. 3, tap. 1, 2, 1, 2.
And again, repetition is key with this form of dance. The more you do it, like Matt is saying, the more the muscle memory is there, and you have to be able to not think about the step while you're doing it. You have to feel the music and go with what the music is telling you to do. That was a high turn. Great. Let's hydrate, and then we'll come back and review some of this technique and get ready for our cool down. All right, we have learned the basics of a number of different kinds of Latin dance. Now let's try to put some of them together in a really fun, fast combination. We're going to start with just the salsa step. I'd like you to try to pick a pose if you can for the beginning of your combination. So anything that works for you, it could be just like this, or just getting ready to dance. We're starting with the salsa step. I'm going to go forward on my left foot. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6. Now to the side. 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6. Bachata side. 1, 2, 3, and tap. 1, 2, 3, and tap. 1, 2, 3, and tap. 1, 2, and turn. 1, 2, 3. We'll do 4 of these turns in a row. And again, you can slow this down if you want. We're going just into step taps now. This is your break. 8 of these on the spot, practicing the hips and the loose arms. Now turn. It should take you 8 of these step taps to turn all the way around. All right, from there, friends, I'm throwing in one of my classic jazz moves that also can be a Latin move. It's called a cross point. Let's break it down really quickly. I think this one's new for you, right, Matt?
Yep.
So we're crossing, we're pointing to the side. You can stay low with this as well. I like to throw a shoulder down in front, like so. So you're going 4 times up and then back. So you're crossing behind, stretch it out, behind, stretch it out, behind, stretch it out, behind, stretch it out. So when you stretch that leg to the side, there's no weight on that outside leg. From here, we're going into a shimmy forward. So if you've ever been to a wedding or a celebration or a school dance, we do this kind of move all the time. We're just gonna add a little shimmy into it because this is Latin today. So the steps themselves are walk forward, 2, 3, down and up. 2, 3, down and up. Walk it forward, down and up, and add that shimmy, down and up. Our last step for this combination is a grapevine. I'm going to challenge you, if you know this one from prior episodes, we're going to take a directional twist. So we're switching directions each time we start this step, and we're switching feet each time we start this step. We'll break it down nice and slowly. Matt, this is new for you as well, so we're going to go really slowly through this and just kind of explore our directions as we're dancing. So we step side, cross, side, and tap. Now we're going to turn towards the back, leading with our opposite leg. For us, it's the left leg. It might be right leg at home for you. And a tap. Now we're taking that other leg. For us, it's the right leg. We're going across, 2, 3, and tap. Bring this leg here. Because that tap is there, it tells us we're using that one next. And 1, 2, 3, and tap. So up to speed, that step looks like 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap, and back. 2, 3, tap. and pose. That's the end of the combination. Well done, friends at home. That was awesome. Are you ready? Let's try it with the music, full speed. Start with the pose. Together, ready for salsa, front and back. And side. The bachata step is coming up next, 2 times. And bachata turn, ready. Use your hips, nice small steps. Now, my little jazz step, kicked in there. And cross point back, 2, 3, little shimmy, wedding dance. Down and up, back. Ready for grapevine. Left. And pose. High five, good job, friends. Thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope this was a fun and different episode for you today. Thank you to our special guests, Mark and Matt, for coming on the show and sharing your knowledge with us and your passion for movement and fitness today. My name is Elizabeth Morgan. Until next time, keep dancing.